This week, the EV charging news was really flooded with the whole NEVI reboot. European EV charging maker iCharging scores a win by becoming the vendor of choice for American CPO EVerged out of Virginia. And Ionna opened 2 new rechargeries. Let's get into it.
Huge news, folks. On September 2nd, in just a couple days, our nonprofit friends over the CCAN Action Fund are going to announce the winners for the raffle of 3 amazing electric vehicles.
If you haven't bought your ticket to win a Rivian, Lucid, Porsche EV, or a Volkswagen ID Buzz and more, you're almost out of time.
Here's the kicker, folks. This EV raffle for the planet is big time undersold. Literally thousands of tickets are left unpurchased, which means, mathematically speaking, your chances of winning are higher than ever. It's simple. Fewer tickets purchased means better odds for you. And remember, each ticket is worth not 1, but 3 chances to win prizes.
You could win a Rivian R1S, like mine, or a Lucid Gravity, an Ioniq 5, or a Chevy Equinox. So, if you haven't picked up a ticket already, what are you waiting for? And if you already have one, might as well get another one. Increase your odds.
Tickets are just $200. Go to www.evraffle.org to get yours today before time runs out. That's evraffle.org. The link is below.
Starting off, Applegreen, which manages service plazas for toll roads and turnpikes and things like that, was in the news associated with kicking Tesla off New Jersey turnpikes, and then there's a lot of backlash and things like that. But they also operate service plazas in New York and Pennsylvania. And they opened the Somerset Plaza in Pennsylvania on the Pennsylvania Turnpike with Alpitronic hyperchargers. And I just want to ask, is there anyone not buying Alpitronic hyperchargers? It's like every time I turn around, there's another CPO switching to Alpitronic hyperchargers here in the United States. It's never ending. So here we are once again, a CPO selecting Alpitronic as their vendor of choice in installing them into new stations. So welcome to the new normal. Regardless, the Pennsylvania Turnpike opened up Applegreen stations going in both directions at Somerset. So the Somerset northbound plaza and the Somerset southbound plaza both have stations now operated by Applegreen, supported by Alpitronic hyperchargers. And I guess we'll start seeing similar types of rollouts from Applegreen. It looks as though their North American division has selected Alpitronic as their vendor of choice, their hardware vendor of choice. And likely that's what we're going to start to see on service plazas. My personal opinion, I lived in Florida for a decade, and the toll road that goes through Central Florida has those service plazas. And it's really the ideal location to put electric vehicle charging. It would be great if on interstates at rest areas they could put in electric vehicle charging as well. But I understand there's federal regulations that prevent people from operating businesses on rest area properties, so it's not possible. I mean, there's vending machines. I don't really understand why you can put a vending machine, but you can't put an electric vehicle charger. But regardless, those are really ideal locations to put charging stations at. And now we have Applegreen starting to put in next generation hardware. As mentioned at the start, the EV-centric news this past week was really all flooded with the reboot of NEVI. Now that the guidance has been published and the full allocation amount is set to be sent to the states, some states, though, had not even started with their round 1 location selection. For instance, in this area, I'm in North Carolina. South Carolina hadn't really done anything at all with NEVI. And I travel through South Carolina with some regularity, and there was like no movement at all with NEVI, no announcements, no press releases, no nothing. Which was a bit of a letdown because in South Carolina, there really isn't much electric vehicle charging. And so it would have been great if some NEVI stations opened up to fill in some portions of the states. It was really difficult to get through. But it turns out that now that the new guidance has been released, a viewer Scott Owens, who has been on this channel in the past with his travels through Georgia at the Ionna Valdosta station, if viewers remember, sent me this link where it was indicating with quotes from South Carolina Department of Transportation that they are intending to get their submissions completed by the deadline so they can get funding allocated for NEVI stations in South Carolina. So I'm guessing because it was politics and South Carolina is a very red state, they didn't want to give the Biden administration a win by allowing their program to be successful. But now that the Trump administration is dispersing the funds, their tune is different. Oh, the Trump administration is dispersing funds. Yeah, we'll take the money. Is kind of how it feels like it's playing out. But regardless, states like South Carolina is now falling in suit in order to submit their requirements in order to have NEVI funds released to them. And other states, I guess, like Mississippi and Florida, may fall in suit as well. And so we might start to see a boon time for NEVI programming starting to build stations across the entire country. Instead of it just being a patchwork like what we were thinking was going to happen, now it might just be the whole country. So we'll see how that plays out. It's going to be interesting, but it is officially announced through quotes from Department of Transportation officials in the state of South Carolina that they are intending to submit their requirements before the deadline. ChargePoint announced that their OmniPort is now available as a retrofit kit to existing customers. New installs, it came with at no additional cost. But now if you're an existing ChargePoint owner, you can retrofit your equipment to have OmniPort. Now, what that affords is regardless of what form factor of outlet you have on your car, this one is a CCS1, when I approach the station itself will dispense the electricity with whatever form factor my car needs. And so I don't have to carry around the adapter. And really what the adapter problem is for me, and it sounds, I mean, this is a first world problem, is it takes two hands. And most of the time when I'm at a station, I need my phone also in order to activate the charging session. So it sounds overly trivial, but I have found when given the choice, I select a station that is the same form factor as my car. Now, if all the ChargePoint stations are retrofitted, and this is kind of like a broad stroke statement, but if all the ChargePoint stations are retrofitted with Magic Dock or with OmniPort, I can pull up to any ChargePoint station and recognize, even if they have a NACS cable or J3400 cable, I will have a built-in adapter and I don't have to worry about that whole two-handed, one-handed awkwardness. I can show up with my phone, I could authorize payment, the correct form factor of plug will be released, and I can start charging. So that is something that they did a good job working through, and now it's available as a retrofit kit. Virginia-based CPO EVerged, or EVerged, announced selecting iCharging as their preferred charging hardware vendor. As some may remember, I interviewed the co-founder of iCharging, Pedro Silva, this year while I was at the ACT Expo. They have a very compelling suite of charging products that I have found that have found success in Europe, but are now going to be starting to be seen in North America as well. They have two families. One is called the Blueberry family of chargers, and the other one is called the iLight family of charging. When you go to the EVerged website now, you see in the background of their splash page, the hardware is iCharging. So they've updated it to reflect that new partnership. So congratulations to iCharging to starting to get a foothold here in the United States. They are really nice looking chargers, especially the iLight. They have a big, they're about the same height as these chargers here, but at the top they have a big kind of clear screen that can also display images on it. It's pretty cool. So with that display screen, you can see from across a parking lot the state of charge of the car that's currently charging in that stall. And you can get an estimate for how long it's going to be. And this is helpful like in congested stations, so you can choose which stall to kind of pull up to and queue up for, because you can see that that car is almost done, sort of thing. So it's a pretty slick approach to charging station hardware, where the information is conveyed to the people who are going to be charging intuitively just by glancing at the equipment. Electrify America had a very good week, and I'm here at an Electrify America station in my hometown. They opened a 10-stall station in a parking garage just like this one. So this one is, I'm at the South Park Mall in Charlotte, a very trendy and popular mall in southern Charlotte. And what I liked about this station is that you're protected from the elements. It's kind of like being in a station with a canopy. And when this station first went in, I was really excited. I'm like, wow, what a wonderful station. And the strange thing about this station, I don't know why, this was opened basically right around the end of 2023, the beginning of 2024. So it's only been open a little bit over a year, but just in the past couple of weeks, they ripped all the dispensers out and they put in these dispensers. And I saw the pictures on PlugShare and they didn't look different really. And the old ones were 350 kilowatt and they looked the same form factor. So I'm not really sure what the rationale was there, but they decided to do so. 18-month-old chargers, they ripped them all out and they put in these, and these are now open and operational. I think just this week they finished that replacement. But regardless, this is a terrific location in order to have a charging station. Look at where I am. I'm covered from the elements, from the sun and the rain. I'm immediately adjacent to a anchor mall with all the accommodations and amenities that come with that, like a food court and restroom when it's open. Right now it's closed, but it's lit, it's safe. So this is a terrific location. And similarly in Raleigh, it's the same thing here, except it's 10 stalls instead of, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 6. Yeah, so this one's 6 stalls. That one is 10 stalls. So that one is even bigger. And really good site selection. I've been highly impressed with Electrify America's station site selection as of late. They're really doing a much better job. I guess they've been iterating around improving their site selection, and no more are the days where we were in the back of a dirty Walmart parking lot. Now we are in much nicer locations with newer, reliable hardware that is protected from the elements. EA also opened 2 stations this week in California. They've been having a very good couple of weeks. Their new stations are becoming increasingly noteworthy. The ones in California, there was one 10-stall at a Costco and then one 6-stall. Definitely watch this space because EA has been doing 2 things. As I said, like this station, they did a rip and replace of the hardware, and that network refresh project is in swing, where they're improving their reliability by replacing the hardware, and they're also building net new stations. So it's like 2 projects going in parallel, and they're very active and, by all accounts from my perspective, successful in their efforts. So Electrify America got a lot of shade thrown on them for being unreliable, derating. Everyone hated them because you were queued up and only some of the chargers were working. I don't know. These are all brand new, and I'm in a covered parking garage. This looks to be a pretty premium station to me. Sticking with EA, Convenience Store News reports Baltimore-based Royal Farms C-store operator will be partnering with Electrify America to install stations at 8 locations in Maryland, with 2 of them already open, which I've reported on in previous weeks, the 2 that have already opened, but we're going to have 6 more at Royal Farms in Maryland. And multiple quotes from the people at Royal Farms indicating their desire to stay relevant with the changing trends of their customers by providing electric vehicle charging. And they operate C-stores, I think it's somewhere around 300 C-stores in their portfolio in multiple different states in the Mid-Atlantic region, and I think extending out into Ohio. And assumingly, if the partnership works well, they will continue into other areas of the country besides Maryland. Next, Ionna opened 2 new rechargeries, one in Ashland, Oregon, at a very picturesque gas station convenience store off I-5, and another just down the road from here in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, at a strip mall with 12 stalls and a canopy, and close to the heavily traveled Interstate 40. That will probably be heavily used. It's also close to some amenities with fast food and whatnot. I'm probably going to go there sometime soon just to check it out because I love the smell of new Alpitronic hyperchargers in the morning. Ha 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 ha. But in all seriousness, it's really encouraging to see Ionna moving with a increased velocity, installing more than 10 stalls using Alpitronic hyperchargers underneath canopies like this. This is very impressive, and Ionna is just in their infancy. They haven't really started firing on all cylinders yet, and once they do, that is really going to be a sight to see. CPO Red E had a better than average week with 7 new stations opened, and their continued growth is starting to become an industry leading, at least second place to Tesla superchargers. In the EV charging game, they're really starting to pick up. This week they opened a 12-stall station in Massachusetts at a community college, as well as locations in California, Georgia, Idaho, Illinois, and another in Massachusetts in the town of Milford. Really impressive what Reddy is starting to post up with their numbers week after week after week. So definitely keep an eye on Reddy. They are finding success. Pilot Flying J opened a canopy location in the state of Wyoming, way out there, off Interstate 80 in the town of Rawlins, my apologies. A viewer, Ye Old Traveler, it's his YouTube handle, sent me this photo a few days ago before it opened, showing the station in a finished state and some really pretty country as a backdrop. I would love to visit that area of the country someday. In fact, on my bucket list is Glacier National Park, and this would definitely fit into that trip if I was headed out there. Next, the Tesla Supercharger team wiped the floor with everyone else, as is all too common. They opened 11 new stations, including a 24-stall in Commack, New York, and a 20-stall in Anaheim, California. Some others of note are Zephyr Cove, Nevada, and Meridian, Mississippi, both underserved areas of the country that the Tesla Supercharger team is helping to fill in. Wisconsin-based convenience store operator Quick Trip has been opening stations and also will be doing so with more frequency as a result of many NEVI awards having been given previously. And now that NEVI is no longer on hold, those stations are going to be funded and opened. This past week, they added to their open station count with their store in La Crosse, Wisconsin, opening a new EV charging location. So congratulations to Quick Trip. Lastly, Electric Era opened their 8-stall station in Chula Vista, California, off I-5 south of San Diego. They're poised to see significant growth now that NEVI is back in business. With many NEVI awarded sites, they will be funded for. So much to watch for with Electric Era in the future. Thanks for watching.